before beginning the meat of the course, I just want to give you an overview of the contents. To help illustrate things, this course will introduce some applications. These applications use Microsoft Visual Studio as the IDE and C# as the language. They're designed for simplicity and to illustrate, not for real-world uses. The general functionality of these applications will be to take some numbers chosen by the user as input, perform various arithmetic operations on those numbers, and return the result of the operation to the user. This tutorial will be broken into 3 parts. In this current tutorial that you're participating in now, below the video portion, instead of the customary notes section, you'll see an overview of these 3 parts. I'll also briefly go over those 3 parts here. And of course, as you can tell, the screen that you're looking at now has some explanation of those 3 parts, and it's broken down into the sections. So in part 1, we're going to introduce the applications, and we're going to explore testing them, starting with manual testing. We'll start to apply some design to our code, and we'll see how the design improvements also help us start automating our testing. We'll also explore how there are still some problems with our design, and how those design problems also hamper testing, and thus how further design improvements would help in automated testing. Or, putting this another way, we'll explore the deep synergy between testability and good design. By the end of part 1, you will have seen some custom automated test scaffolding in action. In part 2, we'll explore and start to apply some design tactics, design patterns, design practices to improve the design. By the end of part 2, we'll have a fully testable design whose testing can be driven by automated testing. In part 2, we'll also introduce generic testing frameworks and test runners. By the end of part 2, you will have seen automated tests built for a generic test runner, in this case NUnit, in action. Part 3 is the conclusion of this course. We'll go over what we learned, what you should expect to have gained from the course, and where to go from here. Finally, in part 3, you'll find a consolidated list of all the links from the various tutorials.